Sanctum 3D follows a team of underwater cave divers on a perilous expedition through the most dangerous cave system on Earth.
Espiritu Sala, the mother of all caves. What the hell was that?
Pull the team out now!
When an unexpected cyclone floods the cave, the divers are forced to find another way out.
We follow the river all the way to the ocean. This way.
Sanctum 3D explores the bonds developed in the face of death and the determination brought about by a chance of survival.
You never, ever give up.
People drowned.
Oh, so you think he makes snuff films now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, like, it's
No, actually, I think that he makes cave films, which brings us to the movie that we're here to discuss.
Okay.
So we're here to discuss the movie Sanctum 3D, directed by Alister Grierson and executive produced by James Cameron. We've all just seen it, so let's talk about it. Who wants to talk about the story?
Yeah, not it.
I guess it leaves you, Chuck.
Why, I gotta start off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awkward silence.
Try to contain your enthusiasm, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know. There just wasn't even a story here. It's like an amalgamation of shitty 90s action movies.
It's definitely a derivative film. I mean, I feel like the creative team behind this said, let's watch every James Cameron film that was about adventure and put it into one script pitch.
Well, you know, and that's problematic.
In addition to the action, action adventure movie, there's also the father and son drama into it, but it didn't have any impact. It was just boring.
Well, I mean, but the problem is that they don't give us a proper context for why this relationship is strained, nor do they create enough intensity in their relationship. And without any of that, it just isn't a compelling story.
Well, but I think this is the problem. Is that like you talking about this father-son thing, right. But it's really hard to care about people when they're kind of putting themselves in harm's way.
There was no impact for me to actually feel like, to make me think about this situation.
Yeah,
like,
it's a boring fucking movie.
It wasn't thought-provoking.
But let's talk about the writing, because I think that's a lot of where the execution of the story really fails. So
it was like a giant fucking cheese plate. It was so cheesy.
Producers and directors don't get the fact that, like, if you just have dialogue that's somewhat intelligent and, like, your characters are charming by that, people will forgive a lot of bullshit.
It suddenly occurred to me why this movie was so bad was that both of the credited writers have no other professional screen credits.
Andrew Wight, who's the producer, he's been with Cameron for all of his underwater, like deep sea, exploration flicks. And so this is clearly not, his native backyard. He's, a deep sea water diver, and but this actually happened to him, apparently. He was supposedly underground, with 15 other people and trapped for 2 days. And that's why it's inspired by our true story, which means you can basically do anything.
Then why was there no emotional impact in this movie?
Because they were not screenwriters. That's the problem.
Right. Also refused to believe that down in that cave, in that amount of water, there was zero creatures.
Yes. If I'm going like down that deep into water, I want like an albino fish, a dolphin with 4 legs. Can I get a shark? Can I get a sharktopus?
You got a sharktopus.
Can I get a sharktopus?
You got a sharktopus for me. I'm like, where's
like
the sharktopus?
Head of a shark, body of an octopus.
But see, it's bad when you're reviewing a film and you keep talking about other films. So I think that maybe we should move from writing. Maybe let's talk about cast and performances. Do you guys feel like they were able to rise above the script?
No, come on. I mean,
bad taste in someone's mouth over there.
You know who's actually good though is Richard Roxburgh, right?
No, he's the only one where I was like, okay, I can definitely see you as like this crazy hardcore cave diving person. But everyone else was just like, you're gonna die anyway, so why would I care? Why would I give a shit about you? Like, why?
Right, he does kind of have this really awesome, like, Aryan Ahab thing going on. It's pretty great. Roxburgh.
I don't know. I felt like they saved money on casting quality performers and chucked all their money into their, their gimmick, which was their 3D thing. And so, but the problem is no amount of trickery, no amount of FX, no amount of style is gonna make you give a shit about characters if they are not performed expertly or with some degree of skill.
That's not really fair because I think that, first of all, you can't blame an actor for a bad performance because a director meets them halfway. But, let's talk about actually who's the real criminal here, and I would say the director. What do you guys think about the directing?
It's just an abortion. and Alister Grierson is the guy in the back alley with the Hoover and a coat hanger. Like, he just did an absolute butcher job on this movie. And the thing is, like, you know, you look at it and you're like, well, why the fuck is this movie that's about claustrophobia and panic so fucking well lit? And it's just because it's not a movie about those things. It's a movie about fucking caves.
I just think that he doesn't know how to be cinematic. And then consequently, because I don't feel like he got good coverage, I felt like the editing really suffered.
You know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know the DP and the director think this is amazing, but really, like, what that translates to is, like, if you were watching me jerk off, you know, like, you would get, like, oh, wow, he feels like this is amazing. But really, the only thing that's producing is just cum on a tile. And that's all you're getting here is just that's the product. It's just cum drying on a dirty tile.
I think
in 3D, no less.
In 3D.
I thought like some of the shots were actually kind of fantastic when they open up into that underwater cathedral.
Right.
And you see kind of the splendor of the thing. If you think about this as an IMAX movie with kind of a plot awkwardly ham-fisted into it, the movie makes a lot more sense to me,
we were
right?
sold. I don't want to pay that kind of money to go see drudgery. As Chuck mentioned, audiences will forgive a lot if you let me care about the characters, if you give me decent writing that doesn't insult me, and then you can layer. 3D must be in service of the story. If you do not connect it to, you know, your style and your story and your characters and all that good stuff, then all you're left with is gimmick.
The major problem is this thing is spectacle versus the writing of it. It does what almost every James Cameron movie has done since Titanic, which is spend almost all your $30 million budget on, you know, the technology, on the gimmickry, on the geekiness of it, and then you spend like $1.50 and a cup of coffee on the script.
But that's the irony, is the 3D in the film was a bad kind of 3D. There's all these like basic violations that they did where they would show shots that have a lot of depth and then immediately show shots that had little depth, but they didn't like help you adjust your eyes to it. So people who would watch it, as someone who's a 3D filmmaker, I was watching it and seeing those mistakes and they hurt.
Movies are sympathy machines, and as far as the directing goes and the writing goes, it just assumes that you care about them. You care about their obsessions and their phobias and all that kind of stuff. You care about this final frontier of cave diving, and it's just not there. There's no sympathy.
I think on that note, we should actually move it to a vote. So tickets, take your tickets. All right, so we're here to vote on Sanctum 3D. We have all just seen it. Do we see it, skip it, or stream it?
I was so mad at James Cameron at the end of this movie. I say, skip this biatch.
Ooh.
Getting all streamed.
Well, for me, I agree with James that, you know, the comparison with IMAX movies, but with an IMAX movie, and I actually get to learn shit, whereas this, I didn't learn anything, so skip it.
I say go get high and watch Blue Planet instead. Skip it.
Bravo for that.
If I wanted to watch a filmmaker jerk off, I just do it in front of a mirror. Skip it.
Slow and
Okay,
painful.
then. That is 4 skip-its for a skip-it verdict for Sanctum 3D. Okay, then.
Chin chin. Chin chin.
I gotta wash that bad taste out of my
Sharktopus.
mouth. Sharktopus.